My name is Gary Harrod. I'm the chairman of the Hillsborough County Aviation Authority, and it's an honor to be here for such an exciting day, and a lot of it is made possible by a number of the people that you're going to hear from today, our partners in the Tampa Bay region, and it'll be our region and our airport that all benefit from today's announcement and all the new flights. Tourism is so important. And I heard today from Chris Minner that our numbers are almost back to pre-COVID and maybe will exceed it in August. So there's so much to be thankful for. And having a new airline and all of the experiences that it will bring and the excitement it'll bring are very important to us. So to hear a little bit more about our team who here at the airport and what they've done to make this possible, and all of our regional partners, I'm going to turn it over to our CEO, Joe Lopano. Thank you.
Good morning, and thank you for coming out today. What a great day. It's a breezy Thursday, and I love it. Breeze all the way, baby. This is a very historical day for us. To my knowledge, we've never had a brand new airline launch their first flight from Tampa International. I'm thankful to everyone here today for showing your support and celebrating the birth of Breeze Airways. I'm confident this airline will be successful not only because of, I know David Nealman's track record, and all of you should know that if David starts an airline, it's going to make money, period. That's the end of it. But I also have a lot of faith in our Tampa Bay area. And David, you picked the right place to come. We are booming right now, both in business and leisure, and you guys are going to do great. After this last year that we've seen a lot of resiliency. And I can tell you, just like Gary said, I'm very thankful that we are not in COVID, and we're now all of a sudden out of COVID and celebrating a new airline. How amazing is that? And just in 3 or 4 months' time. Now, I know it didn't take 3 or 4 months to do this, but it's 3 or 4 months since we were in a funk. This coming Memorial Day weekend, we're going to see more than 65,000 passengers come through the airport. And as Gary said, we're starting to approach pre-COVID passenger levels, which is amazing, really. The timing of Breeze launching 10 markets here from Tampa could not have been better. And I'm extremely excited to see what Breeze will bring to our airport in the future. And now I know, David, you've had lots of airlines with lots of different branding on the outside of the plane, but I have an airplane with branding on it. The only airport in the world that has their own airplane with their own brand on it. I want to give this to David Nealman.
Great. All right, brother. Thank you.
And a PPA.
Great.
You want me to take this for you?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
I'm next.
You're next, yeah, sorry.
Great. Joe, thank you so much. You've done so much to host us here, but to also accommodate us and to make sure that this was our first location and our first destination. And so we're really grateful to you and all the people that work for you, and my history with Tampa Airport goes way back, so I'm just couldn't be happier to be here. I just want to give, first of all, a special thanks to all of the Breeze team. I mean, several of them are here, but it's having to work remotely and having to work through COVID and have to work with the FAA working remotely, and it was really a difficult challenge to get this airline certified. And it's not something that happens every day. You can count on one hand the airlines that have been certified from scratch since JetBlue was 22 years ago. So it's a monumental feat. It's just a huge tribute to our team and their capabilities and their ability to build a great airline. We literally have hundreds of years of experience that we're bringing to the table. And so I'd like to thank them especially. We're excited. I think the question that always comes up is, all right, so there's lots of airlines around. What's different about Breeze? Why is this going to be different? Well, first of all, we're going to start with this foundation that we're seriously nice. And seriously nice, the airline business, unfortunately, is not flawless. It's, you have all kinds of things that can happen to make your operations irregular, either from a maintenance or a weather delay. But, you know, if we can continue to be nice, and what I think we've done a good job of convincing our people of, is if you can just be nice, then people will be nice to you in return, and your job will be a lot more fun. Because if you start with anger, then anger begets unhappiness, and then people don't fly you again. So that's a promise we can deliver on, and that we start with that foundation from the very top. The other thing we do is we look for markets that for the most part have no nonstop service in them. You know, I've been in Charleston, and I was in Charleston last week, and I met a lady that works for the Charleston airport, and she said, my 78-year-old mother lives in New Orleans, and I had two choices. I could pay $300 and connect through Atlanta, but not always did I have that kind of money, so I just make the 14-hour drive to visit my mother. And now, thanks to you, I'm going to be able to visit my mother every single month, and I can't thank you enough. So those are the kinds of things that I love to hear. That's what we're trying to create here. We're trying to make people's lives better. And you know, I will tell you, in the markets that we're going to serve, these nonstop markets, where we can get you there, what we say is we'll get you there twice as fast, at least, for half as much money. We will see these markets that will at least 5 to 10 and even 20 times the size that they are today. So we're going to stimulate a lot of traffic to come to Tampa. People are going to come here and spend money and have a great time. Some will even come here and buy property. I know it's going up like crazy. I know you got a couple of, a mayor from New York and a governor from New York this year nominated for the Real Estate Agents of the Year here, because real estate's just zooming. But they'll come here if you've got a great thing going in Huntsville, Alabama, for example, but you can hop on a plane and be here in an hour instead of drive 10.5 hours or connect through Atlanta or Charlotte. You can come straight here. Then, you know, maybe you'll buy a place here, and you'll be able to kind of have a place here because it makes sense to be able to do it, because if you facilitate the travel. So that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to have a seriously nice airline that can get you there for half the price, for twice as fast. And the convenience factor really is underrated. People focus on fares, but it's really the convenience factor that really makes it happen. Then we'll build a great business. So we're looking forward to it. I'm excited about it, and here we go. Number 5 for me, and it just always is exciting. So thank you everybody for being here.
All right, thank you, David, for those remarks. I'd like to now introduce Mark Neely. He's the Vice President of Embraer Aircraft from Brazil, and I was just talking to him about his future plans and new airplanes that are coming out. The planes that they've made up to now are awesome. So, Mark Neely, please join us on stage.
Good morning, everyone. It's great to be here, and first, congratulations to David. He says launching another new airline. I must say I'm seeing a bit of a trend here, because this is the third that you've done with Embraer Aircraft. So we're super excited that we've seen what the first 2 airlines resulted in terms of huge successes, and they changed the way that people fly. If the track record is any indication, we know that Breeze is going to be just as successful. So let's go ahead and make it 3 for 3 and keep it going. Some might say it's easy to say that it's a bad time or a difficult time to start an airline. But as we look at it, the domestic market is going to come back faster and stronger than any other sector as the pandemic eases. And you know, air travel returns, and the bottom line is we see E-jets as a core to that recovery. Success these days is about having the right aircraft capacity at the right markets and the right frequency with the right ticket price. And you know, let's go on a theme. If I add some other rights to that equation. It's also about having the right size airplane. It's about having the right configuration of seating that gives you the seat pitch, and also having the right economics, so you have all the ability to connect these people into these markets and underserved markets. Our Embraer 190s and 195s are right on point with all of that. These two airplanes have excellent unit operating costs and make them ideal for this Breeze low-fare business model. Incredibly versatile airplanes which allow you to add the frequency without adding excess capacity, which allows the preservation of yields. The 190 and 195 fly profit places that other airlines can't do because, quite honestly, their airplanes are too big. And we know that big airplanes won't make it work in small markets. For 20 years, Embraer E-Jets have been the backbone of the U.S. regional aviation market, and we're excited that 13 more airplanes will be leading up to the target of 1,000 airplanes operated in the region here shortly. I must say, personally, it's a thrill to be here, to be on the first flight for the airline. And I was thinking about it in the fact that, you know, Tampa is where passenger airline service started 107 years ago. So here we are starting a whole new way of reaching markets that weren't otherwise reached before. So with that, I want to say congratulations. All the success to David and the Breeze team and the team members, and let's go get these E-Jets flying. Thank you.
Thank you for those remarks, Mark. Tampa International Airport wouldn't be where it is today without the help of our tourism partners. Santiago Carrada is a longtime friend who's worked incredibly hard to highlight all of the wonderful things about Tampa, boosting tourism to our region. And if you take Santiago's hair and my hair and average it out, you'll get the average hair of the United States. Santiago, please.
Good morning, and Chris, Veronica, I'm going to go off script. Don't worry, it's going to be okay. I love music, all kinds of music, and I think by the hair you can tell I'm a little partial to classic rock. I'm old, right? So classic rock. And this is Tampa Bay's rock band. Joe Lopano's the band leader. Chris Minner writes the music, and over the last decade we've released some great hits right here, but this may be our greatest hit. Because if you've been around for the last 15 months, you know what's happened. And our community is going to be so much better with this airline serving the community, not only for our locals that are going to be traveling to those destinations, but for those business travelers and tourists that are going to be visiting our destination. And Breeze, thank you for having the confidence in us. Collectively, our Bay Area had the highest occupancy rate growth in April of any market in the U.S. So people are wanting to come here. So you're going to do extremely well. Chris, Joe, thank you for allowing me to be part of the band, even as a roadie. I appreciate it. Thank you all so very, very much for being here.
You are awesome, Santiago, I'll tell you. As we begin to recover from the loss of business during the pandemic, some of our first visitors to Tampa were here to see our world-famous beaches and outdoor beauty. Steve Hayes leads St. Pete Clearwater, which does an amazing job of attracting tourists from around the globe to experience all we have to offer on our Gulf Coast. Great to have you here, Steve. Please join us.
Thank you, Joe, and welcome to everyone. Actually, I went and got my hair cut last night just to make it look really good. The other thing, Joe mentioned the effort that we've done in promoting this area for the beaches. My 90th day here was when we shut everything down, beginning of the pandemic. And so we've had this great resurgence coming back, and when Santiago brought up how the area has done in April, that is true, and that is carrying forward not only into the summer but even into the fall. So Mr. Neeleman and bringing Breeze here is going to allow us to go through and market to folks to get down here to see what we have. And we do know this: if we are nice to them, they will come back. And we have a very high repeat factor for visitors coming down here. So we are super excited about this, to be able to introduce our communities, 35 miles of the world's best beaches. Actually, it's America's best beaches, the #1 in the United States, #5 in the world in St. Pete. I could go on to the others, but 4 out of the top 10. But I think the other part is, and hopefully Mr. Steinecker will comment on it as well, is the arts and culture that we have in our community as another reason to come. So we're excited to be part of this process, to welcome all the guests that'll be arriving and treat them as we would all of our visitors in a nice way so that they come back, not only flying down here, but visiting. So thank you.
So that's great. Steve, we're going to have a seriously nice airline taking nice people to our seriously nice beaches. That is awesome. All right, let's see. Another good friend and passionate supporter of business and job growth in this region is Chris Steinecker. Chris has been an incredible partner in ensuring we're bringing the right kind of growth here. Chris, come on up.
Good afternoon. I'm Chris Steinecker, President and CEO of the St. Pete Chamber. Joe, thank you very much. And as was mentioned here, you know, this is not the first time the St. Pete Chamber has invested in a startup business as an airline. 107 years ago, our chamber stepped up and created the St. Pete Tampa airboat line, the very first commercial aviation. We are the home of commercial aviation. These organizations stepped up to support business because we know it's good for all of our community. In St. Pete, we step up to support the entrepreneur because an entrepreneur can create magic. You know what an entrepreneur does? It creates a vision of what we can do next, where that next innovation is. You know what an entrepreneur does next? Then they hire great people who now have jobs and homes and families that they take care of. You know what they do next? They buy great stuff from other people who are building things for us. When you allow an entrepreneur to fly in your community, your entire community flies with it. This is why we invest. This is why this community has invested in this effort, and we continue to be proud of this place being the #1 place for business growth. Thank you for being here today.
Well, earlier this month, the Today Show named Tampa Bay one of the 10 best places to live after the pandemic ends. And Wallet Hub named Tampa one of the best cities to start a business. We owe a lot of that to Craig Richards, who leads the charge in bringing jobs and prosperity to Hillsborough County. Thank you for being here, Craig. Come on up.
All right. Thanks, Joe, and let me thank you and congratulate you and the team and Chris Menner on another fabulous win for Tampa. What a great day for Tampa. You know, David, I also need to thank you because now my in-laws have a direct route here. So appreciate that. Right. No, in all seriousness, though, one of the things that is fueling the growth in the Tampa Bay area is this airport. And having access to markets that we haven't had before will continue to fuel that growth. Just recently, some of the major announcements that have occurred in the Tampa Bay area cited our access to markets, our airport, and our quality of life is one of the #1 reasons why they chose to locate here. Companies like Pfizer, Suzuki Marine, Signode, all located here and cited the airport as one of the #1 reasons why they made that decision. So again, David and the Breeze team, I want to thank you again for making us competitive in the business environment and economic development, and thank you all for being here, and we look forward to putting more business passengers on those planes.
Our next speaker is known as the storyteller-in-chief of St. Pete's booming business and downtown growth. J.P. Dubuque is an incredible ambassador for the Tampa Bay area, and JP is a partner you want on your side if you're looking to grow your business community. And he's been a great friend to TPA over the last few years. Thank you for being here. Come on up, JP.
Thanks, Joe. And I want to announce right now that you may not know this, but I am the official bass player in Santiago's rock band. I'm bringing the funk. I'm holding it down. So thank you to Breeze Airlines and congratulations on this incredible opportunity. I mean, we have continue to drive mobility, and the airport has been part of that. And the enhanced quality, nice, affordable mobility is going to allow us to really grow our economy. The one thing, David, I do want to warn you, after the first round trip to Tampa, there's going to be a one-way trip. Now, after that one-way trip, there's going to be a whole lot more round trips. So, but that second trip is going to be a one-way, and we look forward to that. You know, in the St. Pete Clearwater area, we have been working tirelessly to build our economy by helping grow local businesses and recruit new businesses to town that share our values. And I'm so happy that we've got another business now that is part of this community that shares our values, and we're going to have more of them coming because of Breeze. It is a breezy day, and I'm so glad that you chose blue, by the way. Go Bolts, go Rays.
All right, so I want to just say this. I've watched David Neeleman. I've known David for many years and watched him operate and watched him do great things in aviation. And he's really changed our business. He's a historical figure in terms of aviation business. But I never dreamed that he would start an airline and have the faith in us to put his first airplane in Tampa. And so today I stand here before you very humble to recognize the fact that we are the launch airport for this wonderful airline. And I tell you this, David, we will fill that airplane with business and leisure travelers. You will be successful in our market. Now, we've been known as Tampa Bay, but lately they call us Champa Bay. We won the Super Bowl. We won the Stanley Cup. Last night the Lightning won, and today we win Breeze all the way. Thank you so much for being here, and if the press has any questions, we're available. Thank you all very much.
Which band do you like the best?
End of the road. He's got Kiss memorabilia all over. One of the biggest collections in the world.
Oh, really?